2006 Nissan Sentra B15 Special Edition. Oh yeah, we're back with Season 2 of CaReviews as we ended up in Texas, and for today's episode, we're here to talk about the B15. And no, all you Honda fanboys, this is not B15 like B for B20Bs or 15 for the number of Gs you want to sell your USDM JDM slush box on the Buy Sell Trade Automotive Goodies group on Facebook. Nope, we are going to talk about the Nissan Sentra B15.
So buckle up and get ready for another adventure into compact bodies. Brought to you by Datsun and special editions of charcoal cloth interior and leather-wrapped steering wheels borrowed from Special Education Racing.
2006 Nissan Sentra Special Edition. A four-door sedan brought to you by the Nissan Motor Company and the Renault-Nissan Alliance because it's 2006 and globalization is a priority amongst first-world problems. This is a 2006 Nissan Sentra Special Edition, and before we get into why it's Special Edition, it's a piss-poor attempt to sell more vehicles under the guise of relevance to American exceptionalism. I have an announcement to make. This is not a Sentra SER. This is not a Sentra Spec V. And even though you get SER front grille and 16-inch wheels borrowed from the SER model and a rear spoiler and fog lights and 320 watts 6.6 Rochefort Fosgate 9-speaker sound system and a choice of a 4-speed automatic or very limited 5C manual, the only engine option is the 1.8 liter QG18DE inline 4, which only makes 126 horsepower and 122 foot-pounds of torque. And yeah, it has 4 valves per cylinder and dual overhead camshafts, and Nissan's valve timing control and multi-port fuel injection, and has an iron block and aluminum heads, but
for God's sake, just give us SR20DE. Oh yeah, SR20 some's 2-liter 4-pot that rolls more rocker arms than Romp and Roll does on parent-teacher conference night.
Yeah, you've got some jokester out there that thinks the QR25DE is a better engine than the SR20DE, but then you'd be opening up a can of whoop-ass in a dick measuring contest that will only end with interpretive dancing. Yes, the QR code and the SR20 make more power, and yes, you could even get a helical Torsen limited slip differential on this car. And yes, the factory tunes the suspension of front tower strut braces, extra firm springs, revised shock dampening, firmer front polyurethane bushings, and front stabilizer bars. But yeah, this is the special edition model, and all those visions come and go into this 2,500-pound front-wheel drive chariot to the land of the North Georgia mountains. And once that QG18DE revs up to 5,600 RPM and the sounds of Trade Winds by Goldroom leave the California rain of freeway lights, taking tough breaks of teenage waste back to you in underwater retrograde, and only you can show me the sweetness alive and silhouette of waiting to ignite and embrace the Pacific coastline hurricane till sunrise. And Mykonos, I just might survive the last chance to dance with jewels and sapphires of modern hearts from Wild Youth and Angelus, with no shame in city girls from a night in Nancy's at Morgan's Bay. So, just as a fair warning, do you believe I want blood from the Mother Protect at a red light reptile store in St. Ede's Heaven? Go check out the West of the West. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Anyways, 2006 Nissan Sentra Special Edition. This is a B15 Sentra, which is the 5th generation Sentra from model years 2000 to 2006. In markets where the B15 Sentra or Sunny was not sold, Nissan usually sold a similar car called the Nissan Bluebird Sylphy in Japan, but under other names elsewhere. In Europe, the Bluebird Sylphy was known as the Nissan Almera and the lands down under as the Nissan Pulsar. These cars are all constructed on the same MS platform and features the same interior and engines. Nissan seems to have a method to their madness with cross-platform vehicle sharing and making limited powertrains offered in their cars. Americans try those tactics, and what the end result of that equates to is, well, machines like the Cruze or the Focus or Dart, in which only one of those 3 cars are remotely worth a damn and the others are quite rubbish. Sure, the Sentra competes with the Civics, Corollas, Lancers, Imprezas, and Mazdas, and originates from the land of the rising sun, but it doesn't have quite as large of a cult following as its relatives. But is that reasoning enough to undermine this car? Absolutely not. In fact, the Sentra exists on the same parallel as the car company's other fruitful pickings, like the Versa and the Altima Maxima cousins. I'm not going to get much into detail about the current selection of people movers, which bear more resemblance with Star Wars than their original intentions they had when they started selling cars in the United States, but I will talk about the Nissan we used to know and love and cherish more than the feeling of experiencing eunerephrenia, a peace of mind that comes from having pleasant dreams. See, not so long ago, Nissan sold cars like the 240SX and the Stanza and the Pulsar and the Skyline,
which America never got.
And all things were sunny for the Cedric and Gloria with the popular hits of the Datsun Z cars, and even the first generation Altima Maximas and Sentras were all built on the premise of durable, low-maintenance, low-cost forms of transportation. And Nissan dominated the global market with that sort of reputability, and even produced cars with a Tesla all-wheel drive like the GTR, or Sylvia was given Club Ks, and the gifts of forced induction were spawned into a generation of sports cars with more racing pedigree than those bastards overseas. We didn't get to enjoy much of the benefits of the bubble economy that the Japanese endured, but hey, they did give us the SR20D and the 3rd and 4th gen Sentras, so that's something, right? Speaking of 3rd gen Sentras, did you know the Nissan Suru, which carries the same underpinnings as the Sentra, was produced relatively unchanged from 1992 until 2017?
That's classic car status, bro.
The only reason it stopped production after 25 years was the Suru received a 0-star crash test rating by the safety regulations in Mexico, which meant production had to be seized due to its lack of anti-lock brakes and airbags. Going back to that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it mindset, how's that working out for you, Nissan? 2006 Nissan Sentra Special Edition, a Skyline-inspired face with the compact body of an Altima with a desire to punch the Versa note of Jukes, made by the Pathfinders of Armada Xterra that power Godzilla with enough kilowatt hours to electrocute a leaf into some quest for acceptance. 2006 Nissan Sentra Special Edition, a car whose alternative form of identity is to disguise itself with a common trim level name and a void of disparity into the realm of television subcultures. Whether it's the L Word or Grey's Anatomy, you're bound to find some truce with this Sentry bot. Hey look, listen mom, I saw a trailer for this movie starring Christian Bale, and I was wondering if me and the boys could go see it in the movies. Oh, Christian Bale? I love that actor. He's such a gentleman. What's the title of the movie called, sweetie? It's called, American Psycho, Mom. I'm sorry. What did you say to me, dear? American Psycho. Now, honey, did I hear you right? You said that movie is called...
Oh, American Psycho, for Christ's sake, mother. You ever clean anything out of those ears of yours you got, huh?
Now, that's what I thought you said, darling. Now here's $20 and your pills for your bipolar condition. You kids go enjoy yourselves now. Huh? Alrighty then. Thanks, Mom. Yes. Now run along, children.
Mommy's got some cooking to do. And you know what's on the menu today? Vaginal discharge.
Ew, gross. You said discharge.
Oh, I'm telling Mom.
Good luck with that, kid. She won't believe that fib served up with the side of Cajun fries. 2006 Nissan Sentra Special Edition. It's a car brought to you by the merger with Prince, and no, I'm not talking about partying like it's 1999. I'm talking about Prince Motor Company. Prince Motor Company is the only reason why automobiles named after the horizon created by a city's overall structure, or by human intervention as a non-urban setting, even exists in nature. The Prince Skyline is basically the grandfather to the Nissan Skyline lineage of vehicles, spanning across 13 generations of performance-minded engineering, often first encountered by video games like Forza Motorsport or Gran Turismo or Need for Speed, depending on which option of spoiled-ass middle-class exceptionalism you happen to fall under. Sorry guys, I'm just glancing over the skyline of the Sanctuary of J, so how does this all relate to the Nissan Sentra? The Nissan Sentra is a great introduction into the family of Nissan Motorsports, or Nismo for short, and while it may be cheaply built, it possesses a type of quality found in the likings of crusaders bearing citizenships of crowns and lancers of small, compact saloons that feel enough excitement to muster up conversations about your casual cannabis consumption, and the experience is felt waking up to the sounds of pond water after being disturbed by creatures with long noses and long necks of some black and white aviator that screams bloody murder anytime yeast is thrown into the water. It sounds like a lot more bearable to wake up to than what was just described, even though bloody murder sounds like the type of scene made when you eat a pound of shepherd's pie for the first time, and all that starch and beef and protein and yeast just circulates around the miles and miles of upper and lower intake and exhaust manifolds found in the bodies of a gearhead. 2006 Nissan Sentra Special Edition, a car for the person who enjoys bonfires bi-weekly on the back porch next to a pond behind some pawn shop in a college town in the dirty South, which is truly a hidden gem in a town filled with fraternities and sororities who consume more alcohol in a week to cover the sorrows of sports fans from the Atlanta Falcons. You guys really thought them dirty birds would win the fucking Super Bowl? Ha! Nailed it! Rise up, and choke! Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. 2006 Nissan Sentra Special Edition, the preferred chauffeur of choice after falling asleep at the wheel of a deep blue Swedish chariot at 2 a.m. in Nicholson, Georgia, after leaving a lake town that is less than 30 minutes from the Carolina state line, and realizing you weren't into thick as fuck women as much as you thought you were into, so you left thinking your brain would have enough juice to venture out the 45-mile plus journey homeward bound, and your dumbass was sadly mistaken, so boom! Right rear wheel hits the highway side, and the rubber compounds of Asian treadwear with compressed air explode, resulting into a fishtail so long that not even the last-minute adrenaline adrenaline high was enough to control this Swedish tank from ending up in the median of Highway 441. Oh, and what else? You busted your radiator. Oh, you were gonna replace it anyways, right, along with the tires. So, after getting a tow to work base and no sleep, you call up your roommate to transport you to and from home base so you can clean yourself up and get your shit taken care of. She arrives in this Nissan Sentra transport machine and boom, you're back, baby. The rest, well, is history for another day. Onwards, dear, as we ended up in Texas. Send a postcard while you're out there. Thanks. The end.